Hello everyone and welcome to Da Kings TV, your home for everything entertainment. Before you do any other thing, subscribe to this channel by clicking on the subscribe button. Also, hit the notification bell that is behind the subscribe button, that is the red bell button you can see. That is going to notify you of our fresh updates. To continue to be a part of this community, please engage with our content by dropping a comment or two. Like and share everything you see from our end. We will be glad you do so. The founder of the Commonwealth of Zion Assembly, Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo, is in the news again, and this time for a story that is even more gruesome than the other time it was in the news in 2019 when Temi Dakolo's wife, Busola Dakolo, accused him of raping her, a few years back. Let's get to what it is said that he has done now. A certain lady has called her Pastor Fatoyinbo after her friend passed away. The friend was a member of the church, and this lady also was a member of this church. This lady's name is Nena, and the friend's name is Dominic. Tega, the girl that died, and they were both members of Commonwealth of Zion and a member of the choir group that is called Gratitude, founded by Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo in 2016. Now, what happened is this lady said that Tega's death is quite unnecessary and that it happened as a result of the poor treatment they received from Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo. She made a lot of allegations. I'm going to be getting into it and taking it one after the other. So please stay tuned. Before I continue, guys, subscribe to this channel if you are yet to do so. Now let's get into Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo's gist and how he's involved in the death of Tega, why Nena is writing things. You can actually feel the pain in what this lady is saying. So first off, she says she's quite inconsolable and she's feeling a myriad of emotions that are indiscernible, but that she is enraged because people have kept quiet for so long, people have suffered for so long under the ministry of Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo, and some of the core members in the church, some of the leaders in the church have probably taken a hold of silence because it's like there's some people who help him, get away with the trouble, and there are some people who, regardless of whatever, because they're trying to curry favor from Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo and his associates, are not saying anything. Now she says a certain lady, Tega, was suffering pregnancy complications, so she was actually pregnant and she was supposed to be on rest. Now there's this dynamic in Coza. If you're wondering why, maybe you've seen, let me tell you what happened now. In Coza, that is the Commonwealth of Zion Assembly, where Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo ministers, the choir members of the Gratitude group, which is the choir group in the church, they are actually paid for their services, because when they have concerts, when they have things they are doing, these guys, they travel, the church pays them for, it's basically their work, so to say. Now this lady alleged that the church and Biodun Fatoyinbo have owed these members for a few months now, so Tega did not have money to take care of herself, but yet she's still running around. And it's even said that there was a concert that they held that Tim Godfrey and Tight Tribet were invited to the church to minister, and they spent about 100 million naira to cater to these guys, their logistics, the traveling of the choir members, choristers, lodging of everybody. But then Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo now came to say he wants the money back, and so the houses where I feel like the church provided houses for their members that they are being paid, right? So it's like they're working basically for the church's accommodation for them, and they're still being paid. Now it says that he's been asking them to vacate the building, vacate the houses, and leave that because they want to make money off the premises and all of those things. But while Tega was in the hospital, members of the church, one of the leaders in the church, who she referred to as a certain past minister Eddie, who she calls Doye, did not even say anything, that person got bans from Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo, and because of that he has kept quiet despite the maltreatment that other members of the church were getting. She says that the one person that even tried to say anything while she was in the hospital, that is Stanley Oseji, did not say anything. That the only thing he said is
How far with the house? When are you moving out? What's going to happen to service now, as you are the service coordinator and you are in the hospital? Have you no heart? That is what Nena is saying, that Tega bled throughout one of the trips that they embarked upon, but she was still mandated to travel because the church was paying and she was working in church, and that she was flying bike every day to get to work because Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo refused to make provisions for adequate transportation of these members. And that how can you use something as inconsequential as a car to taunt people? This is coming from Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo, who a few days ago gifted his Baba a car. And so she's like, what is this? And it took the ending of Tega's life for some of the church members, including herself, to come to their senses, and now they're like, okay, we are going to talk, because Nena says it's about to be 2019 all over again. 2019 was the year, June of 2019 was actually the year Busola Dakolo came out in public to say she wanted to speak her truth, and alleged that Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo, while she was in Coza in Ilorin, raped her twice, not once, but twice or three times, and gave her crest afterwards. And everybody was referring to him as Pastor Crest that time. But then the whole situation died down. Some people, taking sides with Brusola, some people, taking sides with Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo. So this lady is saying it's about to be 2019 all over again, because Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo's evil will not always, be quiet to come back to haunt him. She even alleges that Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo has dabbled into cultism and demonism. I'm like, oh, really? Yes, she says that something always happens to somebody who wants to either out him, anybody with the intention to, speak up against him or leave the church. Something happens to them even before they leave the church. And she said that is what has happened to Tega, because Tega already planned that, this month or the following month was going to be our last month in church, and that she was going to call a meeting of the elders in church, and she was going to give them a piece of their mind before she leaves the church. But that somehow, mysteriously, Tega is now dead. But then, she said earlier that it was pregnancy complications, but she never said if it was the pregnancy complications that resulted in the death of Tega. Now, if you're wondering what the church Coza is the Commonwealth of Zion Assembly that was founded by Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo, like I said, in 1999, while he was a student at the University of Ilorin, Kwara State, and he started the church. He's married to Modele Fatoyinbo, and Nena even tagged Modele Fatoyinbo and said that she's involved in the atrocities her husband is allegedly committing in the church. It's a Pentecostal and a charismatic church, and it has presence in over 2 continents in the world. It is being, ruled. The leader is Reverend Biodun Fatoyinbo, like I've mentioned. That is Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo, and they have several churches. They have several campuses. They have in Abuja, they have in Lagos, they have in Port Harcourt, they have in Dubai. Now, Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo is 46 years old, and he's had a lot of controversies following him. I've mentioned the whole situation of Busola Dakolo, and she's not the only person. Some other women have actually come out to say that Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo at one point or the other molested them while they were in his church. He's from Kwara State, Nigeria, and he's a pastor. He is Nigerian, and he was born to a family of 4 in Kwara State, like I mentioned. Guys, what do you think concerning this whole situation? Is it about to be some long thing for us in January with Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo in the news now? A lot of people are like, oh, whatever this lady says, they believe, because why is this man always in the news? Somebody is even saying that between this man and Apostle Suleiman, he does not know who is the most controversial of them all. But that a lot of people are agreeing that Pastor Biodun Fatoyinbo is topping the list of the most controversial pastors we have in Nigeria. Let me know what you think, guys, in the comment section. I'm sure that this story is still going to have a lot of backstories. You're still going to hear some people coming up to give one side of the story or whatnot. That is, if the ministry will even say something about it, because when the Busola Dakolo situation happened, it took a long time before the church said anything. Anyways, guys, I will be waiting for you in the comment section, like I've mentioned. If you enjoyed this video, please share with family and friends. 1 to 3, as many people as possible. Bye bye, guys, and stay true to yourself.